now, we know everyone. We know everyone's name. We know when their kid was born. We have a lot of people who had children as we've been, they're providing service for them. So we have a relationship with them.
Okay.
It's more than just, oh, come in, clean. Okay, bye. It's, I mean, literally messages on Mother's Day and birthdays and Facebook for even, how many people that don't want to have their employer or employees as Facebook friends? You know what I mean? So it's just like that kind of personal touch. Because again, I think it's important, especially when we're going into somebody's home, the trust for somebody come, whether you're home or you're not, you're trusting someone with your keys, you're trusting someone with your space, so there's got to be some type of relationship there other than, oh, this person just comes and cleans and leaves, so
Right.
hiring people is challenging, of course, because of the title, of being a housekeeper or a maid or just in that service industry. It's looked down upon, but finding people that actually care is really hard also. And you can kind of tell, right off when you speak to someone about how they care.
Yes.
Just you talk to somebody in the first 5 minutes, you'll know.
It's like
kind of
dating.
right. I haven't dated in a very long time, so I don't know. I'm like, God, I don't want to know. I don't want to know. But yeah, in the first 5 minutes, you're like, okay, I see kind of what you're, like, not saying you're a bad person or anything, but your level of
Right.
care. And then some people really honestly don't know because they may have come from another employer. And so they didn't have to have that care, and they didn't know that care exists. And so when they come and work for me, it's a whole nother world. I tell everybody, if you've worked for another service before, that's great. I'm sure they taught you amazing things, but take that out of your head because you're working with me now. You're working for Bright Day Cleaning Service. We're a totally different ball game, and there's a reason for that.
Right. And you
Yeah.
guys keep up to it.
Yes, yes. So, it's one of those things, but it's okay. I'm really, really happy with the people that we have now. I mean, it's one of those, kind of things where, it's kind of a revolving door at times, but the people that are really dedicated and have been with me for a long time are still around, and, I appreciate them, and, definitely often like praise them because I know it's not easy.
Right.
I require a lot of detail, and always like, kind of like nitpicky because I'm like, I always want our people to feel like no matter how long we've cleaned for you, you're going to get the same quality every time. We're not going to slack because it's been a year. I want
True.
you to get, and if that starts happening, we need to have a conversation, because it happens, mistakes are made, things happen, but as soon as it's addressed, we need to work on that, so yeah.
Do you have any cleaning horror stories?
Oh, man. Okay. So, let's see. I think it was year 2 of me doing it full time. Myself and another person was at this house, and it was, a renovation being done in this house, and the basement was renovated. And that other person had to go to another site, and so I stayed behind to, like, do some more finishing up. And all of a sudden, I heard a big bang on the door, just like that. And I'm in the basement, and I'm like, huh. And I was like, well, I'm not going to go up because the owners aren't here. I know, like, if she was coming back, she would have messaged me, so I left her alone. Then I started hearing banging, like multiple, like rapid, like really loud banging, and I started getting nervous. And then I heard a thump, like if you heard someone bust through the door. And I ran into the boiler room. And I called 911 from the boiler room. And I waited there. This person ran, did whatever they had to do, and then ran out. I was so terrified because I'm like, it's broad daylight. Like, there's neighborhoods where you think like you're good, and right. And I'm like, this is one of those neighborhoods. This can't be happening. Oh my God, what am I doing? And I'm like texting my kids, like, I love you guys. I'm like, I'm like so nervous because I'm like, oh my God, somebody is robbing this place, and I'm in it cleaning. Oh my gosh, I think that's the height, and like, that was the most terrifying like event ever that happened.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, really, really scary. And it's funny because a week prior to that, I had just gotten a taser because I was like cleaning at night, and so I figured, okay, if I'm going to be cleaning at night, it might be a good idea to have some sort of, just in case,
Right.
never know, right? And I'm laughing at myself now, but then I was like, you're so silly. I had the taser in my car. I'm like, well, what good was that going to do if something did happen? The taser's in my car. Okay. Yeah.
That's hilarious.
Yeah. I mean, and then if you want to go into like cleaning horror stories, I mean, we've done some eviction cleanings that were just, I mean, you can tell either the people really had a hard time or did not understand or didn't know how to take care of their space. It was like piles and piles of dirt. You can tell one thing that I've like noticed in doing this. You can tell people's mind space by their house. Again, people, it
Ooh,
doesn't.
that's intriguing.
Yeah, you can never tell. You can't say, oh, it's because you're a bad person or anything. Some people really do have like so much going on in life that what they're seeing in their house means nothing because everything else that's going on in their lives is taking precedent over all that stuff. They don't really stop to look at, oh my God, why I can't see my table, I can't sit on my couch because there's so much around. And then once that space is, well, the beauty of this is when we get to go, when people actually say, okay, I need to do something about this, and we go in and we clear that space, it's life changing. Like, because when you clear out space, you clear out space in your mind too. Like, you're actually able to sit and you're actually able to focus. When you live in chaos, you can't do that. You have chaos outside. And then imagine coming home and now there's chaos. You have no real place to sit or feel comfortable. You don't have a way to just like breathe because everything is so congested.
Wow. So you're always...
Right. You're always in that state. You're never relaxed, you know? So, yeah, I as you can see, I really love what I do. I do.
love what you do.
I really, really
Oh my
do. It's so
goodness.
important. It's so important to so many people, especially, you know, in households where there's families and the mom, they work, the parents work all the time, and then they have kids, so they're always like this. They're always moving. When you get home, the last thing you want to do is worry about cleaning your house. The kids are sleeping. It's time to either spend quality time together or go to sleep and get ready for the next busy day. You know, if we can do that at least once a month to provide you a couple days of you coming home and being like, okay, everything is in order, then we're doing our job.
Wow.
Yeah.
And I say, oh my goodness, in a good way.
Yeah.
Because I would not thought that someone
You
would
enjoy cleaning. And I guess I'm still in that mindset of several others that are like, oh, housekeeping.
Right. Yeah.
Darn. I don't even want to do our own house.
Right.
Right.
I gotta be in the mood. I gotta be playing music.
Right.
You gotta
Yes.
be in the zone. But this is what you do.
Yeah.
You enjoy it. You enjoy
Yes.
bringing people on, and
Yes.
that's your way of changing someone's life.
Exactly, and I tell people this all the time. It's my little piece of changing the world. This is how I help, and I help in an up close and personal way. I'm in your house, like you're able to come home no matter what you were doing out there in the world. You're coming home now to that peace, and I was able to help you bring you that peace. You know, that's kind of like my overall mission, and just who I am as a person is just a peaceful, light person. And I just want to be able to, if I can just like have 1,000 hands and just give 1,000 people a hug at one time, that's what I would do. But this is my way of doing that.
I like it.
Yeah.
That's new. It's new to me in the
Yeah.
sense of that's your way of changing.
I know musicians and dancers and singers and poets and
Yes.
creative. I've never really thought about in the sense of what you do.
Yeah.
Doctors, of course, yeah.
Yes.
But
Yes.
yeah, you do
Yes.
that piece of
And
changing
honestly,
their
I didn't know that this was kind of, I guess, my calling. I work for an organization, and this is going to be a shout out right now to Firefly Autism. It's a center for children with autism. They actually just moved into a bigger building, and I used to be their office manager. And we had multiple janitorial services cleaning for them. And finally, I remember I was just like tired of people complaining and decided, you know what, I could just do this myself. You know, I could do this after work. You know, I'm here already. I need a second job kind of anyway, right? So I'll just do this. And I was given the opportunity by my boss at the time. He was like, you sure? And I was like, yeah. And I did that for the first maybe month of like, just like after work. Okay, done with this, going and changing into my sweatpants and my t-shirt and going and cleaning the building. And then I actually brought one of my best friends in with me. She wanted to change her profession, but didn't know which way. So she said, you know, I'm doing this. If you want to help me, it's earning extra money while you figure it out, you know. And so she helped me start doing that. And then I was telling people, you know, just randomly, like, oh, yeah, I'm doing this on the side. And one person I told, they said, well, I just started working for a property management company. Do you want to see if you can come in and clean for us? I looked at her and I was like, sure, okay. I'll entertain it, but I know they're not going to hire me. I'm not like a business like that. I'm just doing this on the side. No way you're going to hire me. And about maybe 2 weeks later, I went and I sat with the owner and we had a nice conversation. And he's like, okay, well, we got 10 properties. When can you start?
Huh?
I'm like, I didn't expect that. Okay. All right. Well, let me get back to you on that. And it just took off after that. And this was about maybe 3 months into doing it for the organization. And so I had a really hard time after 6 months doing this because I started getting so busy. I was working around the clock. I would leave work there and I would clean there and I would then go and clean all these other places at night and do it all over again. And it was just getting so exhausting. But I loved the organization so much. I did not want to leave. It was such a hard thing for me to do, to just part ways with it. I loved everything about what they did. I loved working, the environment we worked in. I loved the staff. I loved the kids. I loved the parents. Like, it was just, how am I going to do this? Until finally, that was April of 2005 is when I started cleaning. And then as of February 2016, I was my last day and I started doing this full time. And it's been my full time ever since. Which, trust me, was very scary the first month. Like, the first day after I did not have to go into, like, my actual office job,
9 to 5,
I was like,
yeah.
okay, what do I do? Okay, wait. And then, like, it took maybe a week of that, like, kind of feeling like in limbo and, like, doing jobs here and there. And suddenly it just was like, okay, we're moving now. And yeah. And it's just been like that ever since. And I'm really, really grateful to Firefly, because not only did first of all, they took a chance on this girl who, I mean, I've never been an office manager before. Here I am, trying to figure out, okay, which direction do I want to go back to school? Do I want to do this, do that? And they took a chance on me and gave me that job. And then here it is 3 years later, I'm saying, okay, well, I want to clean. And, for 5 years, up until they just moved last week, we've been cleaning their office space, their center. And it's been amazing to work with them. And, I tell you, I'm super blessed by the opportunity. I say, if it wasn't for them, I don't think I would be where I am right now. Maybe eventually, but where I am now, I don't think I would have, as far as, where I am with the cleaning business, because they gave me that space, that room. Yeah.
Well, everyone has a path.
Yeah.
That was your path to lead,
Yes.
for them to give you that chance, and then for you to build up to
Absolutely.
Really finding your you.
Yeah. Yes. Yes. And so another business, so
we're down to 3 now?
We're at 2. So we're at
2.
Cosmic Blend, Bright Day Cleaning Service. And now I am going more full speed on Tribe Properties. So it has been my dream for the past 13 years to build a tiny home. If you're familiar with tiny homes, right?
Yes.
There are these think of a 3,000 square foot house and then bring everything into 300 square feet, right? Sometimes on wheels, sometimes on foundation. And I have been absolutely obsessed ever since I saw my first YouTube video. Is this woman in California, and she and her daughter didn't have a place to stay, but she wanted to continue school full time, couldn't really work full time either, so it was hard for her to figure out where she was going to live. And she had $5,000, and she bought a piece of land for, I think it was like $2,500 somewhere in California, and was given a shipping container for free. And out of that, she took the shipping container, put it on her land, and started building a home for her and her daughter. And I was floored. I was like, oh my gosh, show me more. And that's where it began. I started getting obsessed and just like doing all my research and seeing all these videos. And HGTV and all these shows now have these shows about people living in these tiny homes. It's a sustainable living. It's a means to an end for most people. Living in a tiny home could be staying there for 2 years and saving up a lot of money to buy their ultimate dream home.
Mm-hmm.
Or for some people, it's just, I want to travel and have a place to live while I'm traveling the nation, the states, and kind of like do my own thing, And so, so a few years ago, I bought 2 plots of land in Hartselle, Colorado, and we are now.
What is that?
That is outside of Fairplay. Do you know what a Fairplay is?
Sure, keep going.
Okay.
So then, like, where is that? And there's like a box inside a box.
So it's south. It's a nice. It's I think they call it the heart of Colorado.
I've heard
Hartselle.
of that.
So that's Hartselle. It's
Okay.
the heart of Colorado. It's kind of in the middle. It's, you can get to it from Colorado Springs, and you can get to it from Denver. Like it's the heart of Colorado.
The heart of Colorado.
Yes.
Okay.
And so now we're gonna hit the ground running and build our tiny home, sort of like miniature tiny home resort out there for Airbnb.